Assalamu alaikum. We are this series about science and the Holy Quran. This is part 2. So chapter 4, Surah Nisa, verse 56. إن الذين كفروا بآياتنا سوف نصليهم نارا كلما نضجت جلودهم بدلناهم جلودا غيرها ليذوقوا العذاب إن الله كان عزيزا حكيما. Translation. No doubt, shortly we will push those into hell who deny our verses. When their skin will be burnt out, we shall replace it with new skin, so that they remain in a state of continuous torture. That is, they feel pain. Indeed, Allah is supreme. Now we know that skin has pain receptors, also known as nociceptors. There are around 200 pain receptors per square centimeter of skin. These receptors can detect and respond to stimuli that irritate or damage the skin, such as mechanical, thermal, or chemical stimuli, and transduce them into electrical signals that are sent to the brain. So, this modern science made this discovery in 1906 when Sir Charles Sherrington, a British neurophysiologist, discovered these nociceptors. But the Holy Quran gave this information more than 1400 years ago. So Sherrington used animal experiments to study how the body responds to harmful stimuli. Dr. Tagata Tagasone, head of the Department of Anatomy and Embryology at the University of Chiang Mai, Thailand, embraced Islam after reading this verse of the Holy Quran. He said this information could never come from a human source in that era, that is 1400 years ago. Next is chapter 6, Surah Ana. Verse 38. وما من دابة في الأرض ولا طائر يطير بجناحيه إلا أمثالكم ما فرطنا في الكتاب من شيء ثم إلى ربهم يحشرون. Translation. It is He who has made every animal that walks on the earth and every bird that flies in the air to live in communities like human beings. We have not left anything which is not indicated, and eventually everyone will be gathered in front of Allah. So here it is in this verse, it is mentioned that animals have communities. At the time of the revelation of Holy Quran, more than 1400 years ago, nobody knew or ever mentioned that animals also have communities. Now we know that no species occurs in isolation, and all living organisms live and interact with other species and are integral members of an ecological community, that is, an assemblage of sympatric, synchronic species. Next, chapter 11, Surah Hud, verse 7. وهو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في ستة أيام وكان عرشه على الماء ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا ولئن قلت إنكم مبعوثون من بعد الموت لا يقولن الذين كفروا إن هذا إلا سحر مبين. Translation: He created skies and earth in 6 days, and at that time his throne was on water. This was done to test who performed good or bad deeds, and if you say that dead will be brought to life, non believers will declare it is nothing else but magic. So, other topics have been discussed in detail in later chapters, but here I will talk about this. He created skies and earth in 6 days. The word days describes a period of time, and its duration is known only to Allah. It cannot be the days and nights we know because these are dependent on sun and rotation of earth. Obviously, at the time of the creation of universe, neither the sun nor the earth existed. And at that time, his throne was on water. The Holy Quran mentioned this fact that water was created before the formation of skies and earth more than 1400 years ago. This scientific community has come to know this fact only recently. Recent research suggests that water may have been first created less than 1 billion years after the Big Bang. This is thought to have taken place inside molecular gas clouds, which were nurseries for the second generation of stars. The Big Bang created hydrogen, helium, and a tiny bit of lithium and beryllium. Water was first created in deep space after hydrogen and oxygen were first formed. All hydrogen atoms were created about 380,000 years after the Big Bang. Oxygen was created much later in the nuclear furnaces of stars towards the end of their life cycles. I am not talking about Big Bang right now because it is discussed in detail in later chapters of the Holy Quran. Okay, next is chapter 13, Surah Ar-Ra'd. Verse 2. الله الذي رفع السماوات بغير أمد ترونها ثم استوى على العرش وسخر الشمس والقمر كل يجري لأجل مسمى يدبر الأمر يفصل الآيات لعلكم بلقاء ربكم توقنون. Translation: Cannot they see the great, high, and strong roof Allah built without any pillars supporting it? He created sun and moon, which will keep moving in the same way till the day of Qiyamah. He manages the whole universe and clarify all his science so that you believe that you have to appear before him. So here they cannot they see the great, high, and strong roof Allah built without any pillars supporting it? He created sun and moon, which will keep moving in the same way till the day of Qiyamah. So there it is written that till the day of Qiyamah, which means that the universe will cease to exist on the day of Qiyamah. So Quran said this 1400 years ago. But now modern science has come to the same conclusion that the universe has a limit and a time will come when it will be destroyed. This topic is discussed in greater detail in Surah Al Rum, chapter 30, verse 8, in which Allah says that Allah created sky and earth and whatever is in between according to a plan, and all these have a limited lifespan. The universe is finite in age because it has been expanding since the Big Bang. which occurred 13.8 billion years ago. The concept of entropy suggests that if the universe were infinitely old, everything inside would be the same temperature, which would mean that there would have been no stars and no life. So the scientists have come to the conclusion that universe had a start, and as logic says that anything which has a start must end, must have an end. Now, verse 3. وهو الذي مد الأرض وجعل فيها رواسي وأنهارا ومن كل الثمرات جعل فيها زوجين اثنان يغشي الليل النهار إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون. Translation: He spread the earth and made mountains and rivers on it. He created couples, male and female, in all types of fruits. He covers the night with day. These are signs for those who think. The topics of spread of earth and the mountains and rivers are discussed in greater details in later chapters. So what I am focusing over here is he created couples, male and female, in all types of fruits. At the time of revelation of the Holy Quran, existence of sexes in animals was well known for at least 10,000 years, and this knowledge was exploited during animal domestication in the Neolithic period. In the modern science, this fact was first described in 1684 by British botanist Nehemiah Grew. Even after its discovery, the sexual theory continued to be hotly debated for another 150 years, pitting the sexualists against the sexualists. Thank you for this vlog, for viewing this vlog.